Hello everybody, guys. Huge victory today for the Trump administration. This is exactly what Trump planned on, and it is massive, guys. For Social Security and Medicare, such big wins. Federal appellate court filings are now in favor of Trump's tariffs and protecting them. Listen to this. They are filing and saying that the Trump tariffs are bringing stability to Social Security and Medicare. That without the tariff revenue, Social Security and Medicare would become insolvent. This is a massive win with the courts that is huge, big time for Trump. Because again, remember, they were trying to fight him tooth and nail over everything having to do with tariffs. But now that all the money's coming in, they're now going to be using that to help make sure that people get their Social Security and their Medicare, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, but this is a huge court win for the Trump administration and making sure that our seniors are taken care of. I love it. And guys, I'm telling you, people are about to go to jail. The first filing of being held in contempt has been issued for a huge Democrat official. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has taken action to hold Beto O'Rourke in contempt for ignoring a court order and continuing to raise funds and pay for personal expenses of the fleeing Democrats. Guys, what does this mean? It means that homeboy is about to go to jail. When you're held in contempt by an attorney general over these criminal issues, over paying and ignoring court orders, you go to jail. Guys, let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys. I'm finally happy that someone is about to get arrested. Someone's about to see the inside of prison because they are 100% breaking the law, trying to go against the Trump administration, who is only trying to put America first. And it gets even better right here, guys. Listen to this. Adam Schiff has been busted. Shifty Schiff busted. Leaked classified info. He has been busted leaking classified info to smear Trump, and the DOJ that was under the Biden administration let it die. A whistleblower has come forth and said that Shifty Schiff knowingly leaked classified info, told staff, don't worry, we're protected. Guys, this is massive. We have the evidence. I'm going to show you all the receipts, guys. This is so big that literally Shifty Schiff was telling his staff, don't worry about being caught, about leaking this info to smear Trump, we're protected. The FBI is involved. The DOJ is involved. GOP leaders are now standing up to take action over the newly leaked documents which were obtained by Just the News, which were handed over to Congress by FBI Director Kash Patel. Guys, I don't know about you, but because of this newfound evidence, I would love to see Shifty Schiff lose his Senate seat, be held in contempt for all these things of trying to destroy sitting president. The whistleblower reportedly worked for Democrats on the House Intelligence Committee for over 10 years and reported Schiff's alleged behavior to the FBI even in 2017, and they covered it up, guys. Even the FBI under Trump tried to cover it up. This tells you that the deep state is so bad, guys, that even with Trump, when he came in, they were trying to take him out. And again, it gets even deeper because it's not just about getting out the deep state, guys. It's all about following the money. Listen to this. Trump is pushing forward to sue, listen to this, guys, to sue Jerome Powell for the horrible and corrupt $3 billion renovation at the Federal Reserve. Trump literally said, I could have built this same building for $250 million. They literally have spent $3 billion renovating it, and we don't have any clues on where this money is gone. And now he's taking action to sue. On top of that, new data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics shows that there was no basis for the agency's overestimation of job growth during the last 2 years of Biden's term. He said it is statistically impossible to mistakenly add an extra 1.5 million jobs. All this was done in incompetence, but also with intention for the presidential election to make the Democrats look better than what they were. Guys, is this not evidence like nobody's business? I am dropping the receipts today, guys. Shifty Schiff has been busted. The BLS under the Biden administration has been busted. Trump is suing Jerome Powell. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton finally holding a person in contempt to put him in jail over this crazy Texas redistricting, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. We got a big breaking show for you today, guys. I want to say thank you to everybody who is watching, to all of our subscribers and viewers, guys. We're so grateful for your support. We couldn't do it without you. If you're not subscribed, please consider joining our family here at TrueLife News. We want you here. We want to serve you. We appreciate you so much. Thank you to everybody that is a member of the channel and those that give a super chat donation. We're so grateful for your support, guys. Go ahead and throw some love for Nacho35 for gifting 5 TrueLife News memberships. If you got a free membership, show Nacho some love in the chat. And thank you so much, Demo G2217, for the super chat. Guys, thank y'all so much. If you don't mind doing us a huge favor of hitting that thumbs up like button. Not only is Trump cleaning house, not only are people about to see the inside of a prison, but again, now that the federal appellate courts are siding with Trump when it comes to his tariff revenues over Social Security and Medicare, and them being solvent, you know Trump is just killing it and winning it big time. And not only that, but he's exposing the corruption, guys. Listen to this. It's pitiful, but it's all because of the corruption. And I'm so happy, guys, that I get to show you this stuff. Look at this. Democrat whistleblower told FBI that Adam Schiff approved classified leaks to target Trump. You're about to see all this, guys. We're going to show you the receipts. But it just makes me super happy that we're finally exposing the corruption. The whistleblowers are coming forth. Peta Bellaviani, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Show Peta some love in the chat, everybody. This right here just shows you they know the jig is up. No more of hiding. We are going to hold these people accountable, and we're going to put their butts in jail, because I'm about to show you that in a minute too, guys. That's the truth, guys. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support. This right here, guys, I'm telling you, a lot of people are saying we need their arrest. We need things to happen. Well, guess what? We're showing you the receipts right here. Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton takes action to hold Beto O'Rourke in contempt for ignoring a court order and continuing to raise funds and pay for personal expenses of fleeing Democrats. Guys, here's the receipts. Attorney General Ken Paxton takes action to hold Robert Francis O'Rourke in contempt for violating court order and scamming Texas. Well, guess what? When you're held in contempt for these things, that means jail time, guys. And it says here, jail time, up to 6 months, baby. If you appreciate this, guys, let me know in the chat, because this is one of the documents that we've been waiting for, and we want to see more documents like this. They held Bannon in contempt. They held Navarro in contempt. And what did they do? They put their butts in jail. But now we're actually holding the other side in contempt, because they're paying for all these Texas Democrats to stay out of Texas, which is nuts. Barbara Johnson, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. And Donna Upton, 1226. I love it. Y'all show Donna some love in the chat, guys. Thank y'all so much for your support. Let's go, guys. This is beautiful. Not only that, but look at this right here. Trump cites major lawsuit against Feds Powell. I told you guys, we're bringing the receipts. All this stuff is breaking this morning, that Trump is not holding back. He literally said, no more Mr. Nice Guy. He's going after everybody. He said, how could he have spent $3 billion on this building, and I could have built it for $250 million in the private sector? We all know, guys, when there's no paper trail, that's where they like to hide the money. Listen to this. This stuff is just dropping so massively today, guys. We have so many receipts for you on what is going on with leaked whistleblowers are coming forth like nobody's business right now. Look at this. Unearthed emails reveal White House nixed Biden's visiting ship because of how many steps were involved. Like, you can't make this stuff up of how many times they covered up what was happening with the Biden administration in just a shadow government, unelected bureaucrats controlling what was happening in America. Guys, look at this. This stuff is all breaking this morning. And what's even crazier, because I told you I'd bring you the receipts, guys. What you're about to hear next is so massive. Look at this. This is from the leaked whistleblower today. This is talking about Shifty Schiff. He said unnamed members of the meeting reassured that they would not be caught leaking classified information and believing that this activity to be unethical and treasonous. This was literally called out. Guys, this is the whistleblower that has come forth and said, hey, look, they were pushing us to target Trump. They were pushing us to try and put him in a bad spot where investigations and allegations would begin. Schiff called a staff meeting, told everyone he was going to leak classified intelligence to harm Trump. Someone's pointed out that it's treason. Other staffers said not to worry about it because they won't get caught. Like, guys, this is what you're about to see next. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I told you, I'm bringing the receipts. This is the same document, guys, that's been caught, and not been caught, but they've been released here on this, over this Democratic whistleblower. This is huge. And what you're about to hear next is now the next steps, because Shifty Schiff has been busted and he is literally a sitting senator. Georgina Budney, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, I really need a new car. Tired of driving my jalopy around town. We need to get rid of the Federal Reserve ASAP. I believe it and I want it too. I feel like when you have somebody like Jerome Powell who can control based upon his own political bias, you know there's corruption and you know something is wrong, guys. Listen to this.
Inflation report CPI today, and Wall Street is kind of in shock. Wall Street's in shock by the fact that it wasn't on fire because of tariffs. We told you this is all about bringing manufacturing jobs back, or if people don't want to bring manufacturing jobs to the United States of America, you're going to have to pay a toll to get through the golden door. Wall Street had been predicting, and of course the haters and the globalists have been predicting there was going to be inflation out of control. It didn't happen today. Of course, in addition, E.J. Antoni, Dr. E.J. Antoni, chief economist over at Heritage, named yesterday afternoon to head up Bureau of Labor Statistics, something he has come on the show for the last 4 years and talked about what the issues and what the problems are. Well, now Dr. E.J. Antoni, as soon as he gets Senate confirmed, and by the way, we should do that in a recess appointment, all of them in a recess appointment. It's unacceptable. It's not happening. President Trump is strapped for personnel. You saw yesterday, he had his team up there in the press briefing to say we're going to bring good order and discipline into Washington, D.C., a capital out of control. And President Trump said, hey, I'm going to go see Putin this week, and it's kind of embarrassing that we have a capital city that is out of control, but I'm going to take care of it. What is going on in Texas? I hope you see the plan coming together right now is to strip the Democrats of any power. Why? Because the only way they have power is either stealing elections, number one, and or having false counts with illegal aliens to give them actually more representation. All of that's going by the wayside. The tip of the spear is Texas, but it's spreading throughout the country.
Let's go.
Just like the template of good order and discipline in Washington, D.C. is going to spread throughout the country also as we take down the cartels in North America, in northern Mexico. That is called America First. National security. Short commercial break. Back in the world.
Guys, I want you to see this because this is so massive of what is happening that the people, this is literally the people that are funding this, that are being exposed. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. Nadine Jones, thank you so much for your support and being a member, guys. Show Nadine some love in the chat, and don't forget to show some love to Nacho for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. When I show you this stuff, guys, this is stuff you do not see on mainstream media. This is huge. Listen to this.
Hey everybody, Tim Burchett. A lot of people ask me, what's the deal with those dadgum NGOs? Non-government organizations. They get a heck of a lot of your money though, and here's how it works. They're not non-government because you and I fund it. We borrow the money to send to them. Afghanistan, for instance, where we had the bill to defund the Taliban. It's in the Senate now, and the other side, oh man, they pitched a fit when we added NGOs. We're cutting them off. Because here's what happens. You've got these billionaires who hate our guts, want to destroy everything we stand for. They'll put $1 million in some group that has some fancy name, Feed the Children. I don't know, maybe that's not an accurate one, but anyway, you get the picture. And so they'll put $1 million in there, which is nothing to them, pennies on their dollars. And so they apply for this federal money, and then the unelected bureaucrat in Washington says, oh, they got $1 million. Man, they're legit. And so then they literally have put billions upon billions of dollars in these things. Afghanistan alone, over 1,000 non-government organizations are working out there. And you add the UN stuff, and we think it could be multiples of thousands of organizations working out of there, all this bogus stuff. I mean, do you really believe we're spending $10 million on a dadgum drag show? Where's the money go? Right back in the pockets of politicians.
Ooh.
Probably some in Washington. So there's a paper trail. Somebody's going to find out about it, but we know.
This is a sitting congressional congressman in Congress right now calling it out.
Probably goes into dark money campaigns, fighting good Republicans as well. And anyway, it's got to stop. And thank you, Donald Trump and J.D. Vance. Dadgummit. Big, beautiful bill, these executive orders, that's exactly what they're stopping. Scrap the whole thing and start over. Thank y'all.
Guys, I love it, dude. And this is, again, guys, the Shifty Schiff. Everything that you're about to see next is so big, guys, because when this comes out, this is literally everybody saying Shifty Schiff is busted. Literally saying that he told his staffer, let's target Trump. Let's do this against Trump. And then people brought up and said, well, doesn't this sound treasonous or illegal? And they said, don't worry about it. We will protect you. You're about to hear the inside scoop, guys, over all of this from John Solomon. This is massive. This is stuff that we're bringing forth, guys, before it hits the mainstream, because that's what we do on True Life News. We bring you the breaking news as soon as it happens, guys. If you appreciate this, let us know your thoughts in the comments. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Let's go. And Chris Prez, brother, you are the man with 20 True Life News gift memberships. Guys, OG of the channel, show Chris and Lay some love in the chat. Growing the family. Hope you enjoy this, guys, because this is what it's all about. Calling out all the corruption.
The time frame you said is 2017, and it's a Democratic staffer he was on the House Intelligence Committee. He was the ranking member, in fact. Correct me if I'm wrong. A guy named Donald John Trump was actually president of the United States, and there was an FBI director at that time that was removed, Comey, but then another one that was approved, Wray. Plus, Paul Ryan was Speaker of the House. Devin Nunes, he removed Devin Nunes, you remember, forced Devin Nunes to recuse himself and put Trey Gowdy in charge of the thing.
Yep.
Those leaks that came out, wouldn't the Republicans immediately know that Schiff had basically leaked classified information? And this is what he went on TV every night and hammered President Trump about. I mean, this is not, what's shocking here is not that Schiff did it. What's shocking is that you had a Democratic staffer that went to the FBI and said this is happening multiple times. The FBI never informed the President of the United States. And more importantly, Trey Gowdy and Paul Ryan are up to their neck in this thing. You could have seen immediately. You would have seen immediately that this was classified documentation. And I think what's going to come out is that people on the staff, I don't know, people like, I'm going to throw out some random names. Kash Patel, the general counsel of the committee, and Derek Harvey and others warned people about what was happening. So this scandal is horrible for Schiff, but there's a lot of blame to go around here about why this concerted effort by Paul Ryan, the Republican establishment, Trey Gowdy, Chris Wray, another Republican, why they were in on this to take down President Trump, sir.
Yeah, so as best we can tell, the majority staff was not fully alerted to the FBI's investigation. It looks like this goes to some career official in the U.S. Attorney's Office on Donald Trump's watch, and it dies there. So the questions that we all need to be asking, and we are asking right now, is what did Jeff Sessions, the Attorney General, know? What did Rod Rosenstein, the acting Attorney General for all matters Russia, know? Because this was a Russia matter. What did the U.S. Attorney that Donald Trump appointed in Washington, D.C. know? That's going to be something I'm almost certain the House Judiciary Committee is going to take on. I'm going to be talking to Jim Jordan shortly. We'll get on top of that. But it may have died in the deep state. One little hand may have pulled it in the U.S. Attorney's Office in Washington, D.C., put it in a closet, and nobody else knew about it until Kash Patel got to be FBI director and then dug these documents up. Tonight, we're going to learn about a similar circumstance. Tonight, we're going to learn about what James Comey's own inner circle, the people he trusted most in his inner circle, what they knew about leaks of classified information coming from the FBI, what they told the FBI and the Justice Department Inspector General, and what the Justice Department did not do under President Trump and under President Biden to bring some form of accountability to those leaks. You're seeing a pattern here. The leaking of classified information was essentially sanctioned by a lack of accountability. And the false stories allowed to stand because no one was arrested for the leaking of this information. Now, let me remind people, most of the statutes on classified information are just 5-year statute of limitations, but there is one provision of the Espionage Act that extends the statute of limitations to 10 years, and that is knowing and willful leaking, meaning you authorized the leak. You didn't accidentally do it. You knowingly, willfully. It was certainly the...
right there, what he just said, guys. You knowingly and willfully allowed and approved to the classified leak.
Whistleblower on Adam Schiff said it was knowing and willful, because Schiff even says at some point, or his staff says, don't worry about it. We'll be protected by the debate and speech clause of the Constitution. So that does sound like it could lean into knowing and willful. And the question for Pam Bondi is, are you going to look at this under the 10-year statute? That's something we're asking today of the Justice Department right now.
Guys, is this not massive, guys? And this is blowing up everywhere. Adam Schiff authorizes classified intel leaks to smear Trump during Russiagate. This is what the whistleblower is claiming, guys. And we literally have documents over the transcripts of the meetings that happened that showed that this took place, guys. This is why he's called Shifty Schiff. This is like the smoking gun, guys. This is the one thing that directly ties the corruption of the people. Because remember, Shifty Schiff was one of the leaders in going after the January 6th protesters. And now that you have this stuff, just think about how much it's come full circle that we're now exposing all of them. Fred Samuel, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. Let's go. He said, better to be a whistleblower than a defendant. 100%. Guys, show Fred some love in the chat. And don't forget to show Chris Prez and Lay Lewis some love in the chat for gifting those memberships. Guys, thank you so much for that support. And what I love, guys, is it's again, too, every single step that we take, Trump has the right people in place to make sure that what's about to happen, that we're gonna make the right decisions. And again, too, because what you're about to see next, guys, I'm showing you the biggest breaking news. Because in the next 30 days, the government's gonna shut down. They're gonna they have to work with the Democrats because they have to pass 60 votes in the Senate in order to pass a continuing resolution or a budget. Listen to what Representative Tim Burchett says, because again, Some people want to shut down, and some people say pass a real budget. Listen to this.
How can you, and I'm asking this question, Congressman, because I know, having talked to you.
And guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, guys, we work hard to try to bring you the breaking news as soon as it's happening.
That you typically aren't a proponent of continuing resolutions, but in this case, it's probably going to happen. So how can you and others who seem to think like you push your fellow colleagues to really pass those required spending bills, the constitutional required spending bills, instead of continuing to kick the can down the road? That's what's going to happen. But how can you put pressure on everyone else to do something different?
We need to do like we do in Tennessee, have single-issue spending bills, and thank you for that question. And another reason that it's probably a little more palatable, in the past, a continued resolution was just a continuation of Pelosi and Schumer's bad spending on top of the things that they gave us, or that, that they gave the people that would bend to their will, and the pork or whatever. So you're a continuation under the big beautiful bill has cleaned up a lot of that mess, as you know, the border, men and girls sports. I mean, just go down the list of everything, cutting out all the crazy spending overseas that we're doing, the drag shows in Peru and all this crazy stuff. So a continuation would be actually a continuation of some of Trump and J.D. Vance's good policy decisions. So it's a little different, but you're right. We need to pass a budget. We haven't passed a budget in 30 years. It's not sexy. Nobody cares about it back home. Everybody's just worried you're going to close down the government. But let's be real about closing down the government. It causes some pain, but everybody gets compensated. Nobody can lose their home in government because they can't make their mortgage because they weren't paid. There's laws against all that. And unfortunately, Congress will still get paid. And
wow. Hey, the government shuts down and Congress works for government, but they still get paid because they're part of the government, guys. And he just said it, like, this is the type of stuff that it's like, it's so corrupt. If it was anything else, it wouldn't even happen.
I'm sorry, but then why not just close down the government? Why not close down the government because it's the right thing to do to force everyone to pass the budget?
Boom.
Why not just do it? And I asked that question because I hear it from some of our viewers saying, shut the thing down until we get it done right.
I can't agree with them more, and I've done that in the past. But I don't know if it accomplishes the same thing it has in the past. Let's look at what's going to be in that continued resolution. Let's make sure that it's the right thing. But I agree with you. I'm not a big fan of government. I say shut it all down. Let's get a budget. But I don't think the will's there of either party to pass a budget. You and I would want to. If my mama was here, she could balance it on the back of her checkbook. But as they used to in the old days, as I find them continuously stuck in places after she's long gone. But the reality is the will's not there in Congress. And I'm not at the financial table, and the big boys are. And we gotta start calling these people into account. And at both parties, I'm with you. I'm frustrated complete with that whole situation. And I'll get up there and I'll be on the steps and I'll say the same stuff every dadgum time until we get what we need. And then when we get what we need, then we take the deal. But if we don't have a deal this time, I would be with you on that. Just shut the whole dadgum thing down and start over.
Guys, I'm telling you, it's coming. This right here is going to be the tell in the next 30 days over what happens with Mike Johnson, the government shutdown, a new budget for 2026. This is going to be huge. Lay Lewis, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said Alligator Alcatraz, here they come. I love it. Lock up the criminals. Guys, right here, you are about to see, in essence, why DC is a cesspool for just corruption and crime with this one clip. Like the stuff that I'm showing you guys, it is insane to think that this is what has been in charge in DC. Listen to this.
That's what the chain of command is now?
What does that mean?
Well, is it Pam Bondi speaking to the mayor, speaking to you, or how does this work?
So the executive order is...
Did you hear that? She said, literally said, reporter says, do you know what the chain of command is now? In the Smith, this is the DC police chief said, what does that mean? DEI in action. Like, are you kidding me? You don't know what chain of command is? That's like, this right here, guys, just tells you where things mess up. And not only that, I want to show you this because, again, all this stuff is coming back up. Everything that they targeted Trump with, and now the left-wing media is trying to say that, no, Trump's targeting all the people that went after him. Let's just talk about what actually happened. Trump's team, his accounting team, misclassifies a payment to Stormy Daniels. Trump gets convicted of 34 felonies. 34 felonies. Hillary Clinton's team pays for the creation of the Steele dossier, which causes immeasurable damage to the country, causes the Russian collusion hoax, $40+ million in taxpayer money on a Russian hoax fake investigation, misclassifies the payment, gets an $8,000 fine. Guys, listen to this.
Welcome back. So is it accountability? The Federal Election Commission is now fining Hillary Clinton and the Democrat National Committee over the way it paid a firm to produce the notorious Steele dossier. The Clinton campaign has been fined $8,000 and the DNC slapped with a $105,000 penalty after a 2016 letter revealed that they violated campaign finance rules. The FEC says both parties failed to properly report payments for opposition research and the production of the dossier, instead labeling the payments legal services. Former President Trump now asking, where do I get my reputation back? Dagan McDowell, I mean, $8,000 fine.
Do you see that, guys? Like, tell me that's not a witch hunt. Tell me they didn't go after Trump. And all the while, guys, it like, what I love is that Trump is so relentless, not stopping from putting America first, fighting the corruption, and making sure that Americans are winning at the highest level. Listen to this.
So it's the last call for trade deals. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent expects to complete tariff negotiations by October with any of the countries who haven't already reached an agreement with the United States. Major partners like Canada, Mexico, Brazil, India, they're still scrambling to lower tariffs and secure a better deal with America. But we could have told them if they had come sooner, maybe they would have gotten better terms. Of course, there's China hanging out there too. The president staring down a decision to extend the trade truce with Beijing. That expires tomorrow, but the White House says that Americans should be happy with where the U.S. is on trade.
We're seeing a manufacturing boom in this country because you have a president who's telling people that if you want to sell to great American consumers, you've got to make it in America and use great American workers to do it. The second thing the tariffs are doing is it's bringing in a lot of additional revenue, which of course we're using to give tax relief to the American people and make it easier for average Americans to get by.
All right, so there are different ways of looking at the tariffs. We're going to look for that CPI number. I'm going to be a little geeky here, Kennedy, tomorrow to see if inflation is starting to come through. As Jerome Powell says, it will as a direct result of tariffs. So far, we haven't seen too much of an indication that it's really hurting the American consumer. But these deals are still hanging out in the balance. Bessent is saying, don't worry, we'll have it all done by October. The market seems pretty confident, at least until it's not, that that is the case.
I know, but isn't everything just weird? Like, nothing makes sense. You'll have one indicator, one index that, you know, whichever side will glom onto, and they'll go, see, the world is ending, the economy is shrinking, workers are suffering, and then you have either a dubious jobs report or, you know, sky-high markets, and then everyone else goes, no, it is all working, this is going according to his master plan. Of course, the big worry is always that companies that are the ones who are feeling the pain from the tariffs, they're going to pass it on to consumers. And of course, that would set off an inflationary chain reaction. And that's the one thing that has people worried from, you know, Midwestern Trump voters who want to see manufacturing coming back to this country. And then you had Elise Slotnick, the senator from Michigan, who said, no, actually, Zoran Mamdani touched on the exact same thing that the Trump voter was feeling, and prices are too damn high. high. So if we are entering into an inflationary period, I worry that that's going to result in a socialist mayor in the city where I live, where taxes are already too damn high.
Yeah, I hear you on that.
Guys, let me show you this. You know that Trump is winning at the highest level. You know that Trump is making this happen whenever the Rapid Response Team 47, this is straight from the White House, guys. This is the Trump, this is their, whenever any news comes out, they want to put out the America First agenda and hold fake news accountable. They put this out, and they literally have put out a news from CNN, guys. Listen to this.
When you look at the key categories that we always look at, energy, food, and shelter, energy fell by 1.1%. That was largely driven because of gas prices falling in the month of July by 2.2%. Look at that food. I mean, this is where people spend their money, right? Food every single day. Food flat, 0%, and actually down at the grocery store by 0.1%. And then shelter, we always usually see an increase because that is what people are paying on rent, and we know that rents are rising.
Guys, I'm telling you, when Rapid Response 47 is putting out a video from CNN about, hey, guess what? Inflation's not going anywhere. Prices are coming down. You know that Trump is winning, baby. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, thank you so much for your support, guys. This is what I'm talking about.
It would definitely be a big problem, but that is it. It's the affordability crisis that they're grabbing onto. Trump's way of, trying to rejigger the economy is to get growth to fix the problem, whereas Mandami is basically saying we're going to tax the rich and give everything away, Brian. And Dagan brought up the expectations for the CPI number, that they might be higher. But I would go back to Kennedy's point, which is that you can argue whatever set of numbers you give me, I can argue it from either side about what happened.
Well, and you got numbers that aren't even reliable. I mean, that's the other piece. We got the jobs number this month. Who knows if that's where the jobs number ends up? We don't know from month to month. It takes 2 or 3 months to figure that out. The tariffs haven't been a disaster, okay? That's clear. They were supposed to be a disaster by now. They haven't. The CPI read this week, if it's hot, it might be a little bit of a tariff effect in there.
Yeah.
But that's not the same thing as hotter inflation. Inflation is a monetary phenomenon. That's the Federal Reserve land there. So I think that's being used as a red herring because Democrats desperately got to find something wrong with the Trump economy before the tax cuts, before the business tax cuts kick in. Because I think when those kick in, it's going to be a problem for Democrats. And they're hoping they can get ahead of that because here's where I agree with them on one thing, and actually Mamdani on this because he's talking about affordability. If people feel like prices are not getting better, if they feel like their wages aren't keeping up with prices, they're going to be super ticked off. And it is a mistake for any administration to lose sight of that. Biden lost sight of that. He thought he could transitory it away. It didn't work. I don't think that the president now is going to lose sight of that. But if you mess around too much and people feel like they're not getting relief, they're not as ideological as the people punditing about it on TV. They're going to vote for somebody who they think is going to make it better. That's what Republicans are going to have to contend with in 2026.
Guys, and again, too, we show you everything, guys, the receipts, all that here on TrueLife News, guys. Check this out right here. The Trump administration, there's now talks that the Trump administration is going to go after the Biden administration again for what you're seeing on the screen. An overstatement of Biden's job growth by 1.5 million from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, that's what the BLS means, was election interference. That all this 1.5 million, oh, Biden's done this and they've added to the economy and they've grown the United States economy. They've added jobs. It was all a lie. And they say this was only done to try to help Biden at the time, but then Kamala Harris to win the 2024 election, and now they're going after them. Let me know your thoughts in the comments, guys, because are we not seeing some of the craziest news coming out that people went so far to try to target and beat Trump? They lied so much with all the numbers when it came to what we normally put our faith in when it comes to the economy, the CPI, when it comes to all this stuff. But now they need to be held accountable. Deanna Rankin, thank you so much for the super chat. Let's go. Said, thank you for reporting of the truth. Jesus Christ is Lord always. Oh, Jesus Christ is Lord always. Amen. Y'all show Deanna some love in the chat, guys. Thank y'all so much for your support. And don't forget to show Chris Prez some love in the chat, guys, for giving 20 TrueLife News memberships. Listen to this.
Taken.
I'm going to toss a ball in the air for the great libertarian, Kennedy, because I'm curious what you think about, and Ed Lawrence asked the president about it earlier today.
Fast Eddie. Fast Eddie.
Yes.
That's right.
Yeah. You know.
NVIDIA, the most pricey, in the world company, and AMD are paying now the U.S. government 15% of its cut of sales of a lower end. It's the lower end H2O chip for NVIDIA and AMD lower end chip, AI chip sales to China. And this was clearly a deal that Jensen Huang negotiated with President Trump.
But did he take him a glass sculpture like Tim Cook did?
Right. I saw that.
Yeah. What did he bring him?
Tim Cook looked very nervous, which I enjoyed. The exports, these exports of both these chips were stopped in April, and now they're back on again with this revenue sharing deal in place. And doing some research on this, it's unconstitutional under Article 1, Section 9. It forbids the federal government from laying export taxes on. So this appears to be sort of like what happened during World War I and World War II, where you would have export control regimes in place because it was wartime, but you would have a licensing fee that you would have to pay in order to export goods overseas. And as much as President Trump loves collecting revenue for the American people, once President Trump leaves office, there is so much room for abuse of this.
That's what I was thinking about, because these companies are going to make what are essentially short-term deals in order to comply with the philosophy of this administration. But President Trump is only going to be President Trump for 3 more years.
That's why
and then you're going to have, either many MAGA Republicans are hoping a continuation of the Trumpian doctrine, especially on foreign policy and economic policy. But if you have a Democrat come in, they're going to undo all of these deals. And, you're going to see the pendulum swing in the totally opposite way. And the argument will be, we need more government fuss budgetry. But, you could make the argument that this administration is picking winners and losers. Now, AMD and NVIDIA are looking at this going, well, we don't really care. Like, we're doing the math here, and we'll make more money paying this 15%, whatever you want to call it, the sexy chip fee, because we can't call it an export tax, because we'll make so much more money on the other end. We want access to China. And so, they created these sort of lower tier chips so China couldn't use a monstrous number of them in order to advance their military AI capabilities. So what they're saying is, this is basically a flip phone versus an iPhone 16 Pro.
You could have a President Newsom put a gross oil
don't even say those two words together.
And he would get the oil from his hair.
That's right. He'd have to tax himself in that case. But you could do this. I mean, I think that's the argument, is what happens after this administration.
That's a fair point,
kind of
except that Newsom tracks at 32% in his own estate. So there's not a President Newsom.
You pick your name.
Well,
all right.
The two stocks in question, AMD and NVIDIA, are both up. They've been up. They've had a wild run.
I own NVIDIA. I bought more last week. I will continue to own it. My new target on NVIDIA is $240. I think it will get there.
Well, I made
order.
I made a joke on the phone with somebody earlier who works in tech. They were like, yeah, NVIDIA stock's up because they have access to a market that they didn't have access to just a few weeks ago. I was like, Jensen Huang could come out with a new leather jacket on and the stock would be up 10%. I mean, it's just absurd.
And guys, again, too, this is all a part of what? It's a part of Trump's growth plan. And what I love is even this, too, that right now, Trump is putting the pressure on everybody Nobody is getting by. Trump cites major lawsuit against Fed Powell for this $3 billion that was spent on renovating, guys. It's not a new building, guys. Literally renovating a building, and this is all for the Federal Reserve. Trump came out. Oh, I apologize, guys. On the Federal Reserve. So Trump came out. He's suing them. He said, Jerome Too Late Powell must now lower the rates. Steve Mnuchin really gave me a beauty when he pushed this loser. The damage he has done by always being too late is incalculable. Fortunately, the economy is so good that we've blown through Powell and the complacent board. I am, though, considering allowing a major lawsuit against Powell to proceed because of the horrible and grossly incompetent job he has done in managing the construction of the Fed buildings. $3 billion for a job that should have been a $50 million fix-up. Not good. Guys, again, what does this show you? That anytime the dang government gets involved, there's always, it's more than it should be, and not just by a little bit, a factor of like 200, 300. And this is now what Trump is doing. And what I love too, because I showed you this earlier, Texas AG Ken Paxton has taken action to hold Beto O'Rourke in contempt for ignoring a court order and continuing to raise funds and pay for personal expenses of the fleeing Democrats. This is the order, guys. When you get these orders of being held in contempt for what he's doing, your butt goes to jail. If you appreciate this, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, finally holding people accountable. Put them their butts in jail. And I love this right here, guys. Administration, the courts are now siding with Trump, saying that ending the tariffs could threaten Social Security and Medicare. This is it. We already knew that in 8 or 9 years, the Social Security and these programs would be insolvent. Now the courts are siding with the administration, saying that ending the tariffs could threaten them even more. All this tariff revenue is putting America first, is making sure that we take care of our seniors. But what I love next, guys, is what you're about to see. I love accountability. Check this out.
Well, forget the economy, crime, or the border. The Democrats are focused on how gerrymandering will save democracy. And leading the charge, none other than serial election loser Beto O'Rourke.
Ooh.
Now he's dropping F-bombs in addition to the Rob of his name and rallying the left to ditch the rule book entirely. Watch.
Listen, you may say to yourself, well, those aren't the rules. There are no refs in this game. F the rules. We are going to win whatever it takes. We're going to take this to them in every way that we can.
A logical proffer from the gentleman, Greg, but the reality is that we're seeing a world tour of hysteria by all of these election losers like Tim Walz and Beto O'Rourke, and now they're just shouting that this gerrymandering is going to save democracy when the only thing we need saving from is them abdicating their duty.
You know, it's weird. I look at Beto O'Rourke and that there's just one feeling, and I can only explain it as I would hate to be his father-in-law. Do you know what I mean? He's like the one that just doesn't do anything, but tells you all these big stories about how he's going to make sure your daughter's fine, but he's just a load of horse pooey. Doesn't he look like the kind of son-in-law you don't want? Anyway, so the big complaint, and Harold points it out, is the midstreaming, which is like a card cheat saying it's not fair that you caught him cheating, so let's stop the game. Not you, Harold. I'm talking about the Dems who manipulated the census by flooding districts with illegals. They broke the rules, and so don't get mad when we catch you. We decide to fix it. The era of the free punch is over. And the Dems were always the masters of the cheap shot, manipulating the census. They made their districts look like a Smurf bled out with all the blue splatter. Now Trump is back and it's not fair. They say it's a threat to democracy. No, it's just a threat to Democrats.
Ooh.
There is a difference. I like how Dems are now saying that this is a revenge tour. That was a narrative they started before the election. I don't know if you guys remember. They go, if Trump gets elected, he's going to go after everybody. Yeah. I remember saying, why do they think that? It's because they know they've been doing bad stuff. They know it's coming. And they know they deserve this. I've never thought about retribution when I've done nothing. But when I do something, I definitely think, oh, Harold's coming after me. So gerrymandering is Trump and the Republicans finally taking appropriate action against those who warrant it. It's not revenge. It's more like rebalancing. I mean, you screwed over millions of people with various hoaxes, the Russian hoax, Biden's sane hoax, God knows what else. I mean, just take your licks.
Take that. Well, I'm just going to make a comment about Beto O'Rourke. He is the bad penny of Democrats. He keeps, you forget about him, and then he keeps turning back up, and you're like, what? Yeah. We didn't invite you over, and here you are again. And the Democrats just last week, they were finally able to say, whew, Kamala's not running for governor. Well, that's good. Let's put that one away. And yet this guy keeps coming up. It's like, imagine when last year when he said, in the 2020 primary, he said, hell yes, we're going to go door to door to confiscate your guns. Yes. He basically was like, oh, what more ammunition do we need here? Wow. And so I think for him, maybe silence is golden.
Yeah, I guess Vanity Fair is regretting their decision, Charlie.
Yeah, this is the rawest of raw politics. I get people that you don't like gerrymandering. Gerrymandering is a terrible way to draw districts, but except for all the other ways, because who else is going to draw these lines except people that have been elected? That's the way this works. The real freak out is all about the fact that Republicans are doing it. Democrats have mastered it. They've done it brilliantly. The problem for them, of course, right now is they've done it so well for so long in every state that they can that there's no more room for them to do it anymore. And the only states left where you can have significant pickups are Republican states.
Guys, imagine, this is how bad it is that it gets to a point where you've gerrymandered to be able to win. Then all of a sudden, it gets to the point where, dang it, you're like barely winning and then you just start losing. And then it's like, okay, well then we got to bring in illegals. So they bring in 20 million plus illegals. And then that's how they're able to win the election. And then now Trump's deporting them. Then all of a sudden, now you're like, wait, Texas is doing what we're doing. Democrats have lost every ground of truth that they could stand on. Even what you're seeing on the screen right here. Adam Schiff authorizes classified intel leaks to smear Trump during Russiagate. Washington, D.C. is a cesspool. It's a swamp. We know more than ever now that people want America first policies. You want to know how? Look at this right here. This is the type of stuff that is America first. 100,000 plus applications. Americans rushed to join Trump's massive ICE hiring spree. People are fed up with living with criminal illegal aliens. They're fed up with people that come into the country and hate America. With people living off the taxpayer benefits that didn't pay into the system, don't want to live the American way. And I'll say this too, guys. Let me tell you this. Everybody's always like, well, we're a melting pot and this and this and this. Look, there's a way that America does stuff. There's a way that America lives. When you come in, and do you remember what did Trump say? They're eating the cats. They're eating the dogs. Like, when you start bringing in cultures that are completely opposite of what we believe in, and they just start to destroy what makes America beautiful, that is not the American way. And people are showing you now, with what you're seeing on the screen, they're fed up with it. People are fed up with all the crime. Listen, let me know your thoughts in the comments, because this is what's truly going to make a difference.
America's greatest comeback. We have other fish to fry, but this is a big story today. And the importance of law and order culturally, for families, I mean, just so people stop getting murdered and so forth on the streets, homelessness, but it's also an economic issue, Newt Gingrich. I mean, I remember Rudy Giuliani back in '93 talking about law and order as a tax cut. He was dead right. Mr. Trump may not have mentioned all that today, but that is part of the issue, is it not? There's no question about it.
Let's go. Hey, B1 Sly One, thank you so much for the super chat, brother. It's a great show today, Joel. We have the best chat community on YouTube. Let's go, Patriots. I love it. Show B1 Sly One some love in the chat, everybody.
Look, you cannot have a city that has rampant crime and expect it to have economic growth expect jobs to come in, and frankly, expect citizens to want to live there. Washington's a unique case because it is the national capital. It's in the Constitution, and I think the government owes it to the American people to be able to visit their national capital without being afraid. So I think you start with the idea that there's no real level of violence tolerable in Washington, D.C. As Speaker, we did a lot of things to take over the city. We rebuilt its capacity. We strengthened its police force. We passed your kind of tax cuts, which encouraged new jobs, new business, people to come back into the city and buy houses. There was a huge renaissance from the time we took over, which lasted about 10 or 12 years until the corruption and the bureaucracy and the left-wing values. I mean, if you have people go around every day who favor criminals over the police, who want to release criminals, who block ICE from getting rid of criminals, why should it surprise you that there's a real consequence in terms of crime and in terms of risk to people? So I think President Trump did exactly the right thing today. I hope it's the first step in making Washington back into a capital all of us can be proud of beyond safety. And I think the steps he's taking with the homeless are part of that. And I hope that his commission will look at every step necessary to strengthen the city of Washington and give people a better future.
No bail, no jail, Newt. The Democratic Party, no bail, no jail. To me, that's their rallying cry. It's against the police. Many of them want to defund the cops, but whatever, no bail, no jail. Who's going to move into a city where the streets and the businesses and the schools are not safe? I ask you that. I mean,
guys, and what I love is, like, I love just bringing this stuff up to show you Democrats don't believe in no bond, no jail, but yet when it came to Trump and his team misclassifying a payment to Stormy Daniels, Trump got convicted of 34 felonies. Yeah, but no, we can't know. If you're poor, no, we don't want no bail or not bond. Only if you got money. Like, this to me is mind-blowing because it is just totally against just doing the right thing. And you're hearing that. You're hearing these people that no matter what, they always fail to just put the right foot forward. And what I love too, guys, is that right now they're cracking down. They've literally brought in 800 National Guard into the DC Capitol to clean up the streets. And I'm happy about it. Finally, I don't like crime. And I don't think that 99% of America does either.
Who's going to move into a state where there's no safety and there's no law and order? I mean, I don't think Mr. Trump can talk enough about the importance of all that.
Government socialism and radical values, and people moving to states that have common sense, that provide safety, that have a tax policy that encourages work and encourages small businesses. And the pattern's clear. People move with their feet out of these places. It's hitting New York. It hits Connecticut, New Jersey, Illinois, California, all of which have big government socialists with radical values, none of which work, which is the key thing. It's amazing to me that they survive because the machines are so strong and the corruption is so deep that there's an enormous amount of money spent, often government money, your tax money, to keep in place machines that are very dangerous for the very people of their city.
And you know what else? I want to re-raise the issue that Laura Ingraham said on this show last week. A superpower, a great nation, okay, cannot have dangerous streets and the absence of public safety and law and order. You just cannot. You can't have a superpower without a great capital, which is what Mr. Trump is trying to get at, that we have the worst murder rates of all these comparable capitals around the world. Vladimir Putin looks at this, Xi Jinping. You just can't have that. A superpower needs a fabulous capital. We do not have a fabulous capital right now, and we should.
Boom. Well, look, it tells you a lot about the founding fathers, that from the very beginning, when we were a small, tiny, weak country, they envisioned a city that would be magnificent, buildings that would be remarkable. And from the very beginning, with the building of the Capitol, they created a system which was designed to make Washington a worldwide city. And they were doing this when we were very small, very poor, and nobody was even quite sure we'd survive. So there's a long tradition. And you go down the mall, you go to the Lincoln Memorial, the Washington Monument, the Jefferson Memorial. At its best, it is a magnificent place. And I think what we need is to go back, fix it up again. And Los Angeles, Chicago, these cities are dominated by machines that are paid for by tax money through unionized systems that keep people in power no matter how bad they are, no matter how corrupt they are, and no matter how incompetent they are. And what we're seeing in New York and also in Minneapolis, where you're having big government socialists with radical values, these folks are totally out of touch with reality, and they're going to be an enormous threat to the survival of those cities.
All right. And guys, it just goes back to, it's always about the money. Always follow the money. And whenever we look at what Trump is now bringing a huge major lawsuit against Federal Chair Jerome Powell over spending $3 billion, guys. I mean, it's like so hard to fathom that level of money. Guys, if you appreciate this, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button, it is just insane. $3 billion on renovations, guys, of a federal building for the Federal Reserve. It cost $2 billion to build the entire Freedom Tower. That is the tallest tower in the United States. But yet to renovate the Federal Reserve building, $3 billion? Are you kidding me? That's why Trump is bringing a lawsuit. And I love it. I love this accountability. I love that even with this, when they interfered with the dang election, with his stupid numbers, 1.5 million job growth, it was all fake. All fake. Stephen Morgan, welcome to the family, brother. Let's go. Guys, show Stephen Morgan some love in the chat. And Chris Prez, thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Said, I can see my house from up here. Hey, let's go, brother. I love it. Y'all show Chris some love in the chat. This, to me, guys, again, the more that we step into what is going on, what we're exposing, inflation is down, people are signing up like crazy to be a part of the massive ICE hiring, to be a part of cleaning up America. Like, this is, to me, America first. This is MAGA first. And what I love is that, again, too, the more that we dig into what is actually happening at the forefront, listen, that every single Democrat, whistleblowers, it's all coming out. Even when it comes to the violent crime, it comes to the inflation, everything is exactly like Trump would say. Look at this right here, guys. Like, I love bringing all this stuff that's just coming out. Annual inflation rate held steady, July at 2.7%. So why aren't the rates down yet? What's going on? Why do we keep fighting politics when it comes to the interest rates and putting Americans first? All this stuff, guys, what I love is that we're finally exposing it all at the highest level. There's so many people like this channel, like others. That's why, guys, we thank you so much for sharing these videos on Facebook, everywhere, that we want to get the truth out. We want to show you all the things, no matter what, things you won't see on mainstream media. And that's why it really means a lot to us, guys, if you don't mind hitting the thumbs up like button. If you're not a part of the family yet, guys, we want you here to join the True Life News family. Hit that subscribe button so that we can serve you every day with the top news. And this is because, to me, we have been fed so much propaganda over the past decade, so many lies. Look, we just want the truth. We want to expose everything. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. I want to say thank you to all of our members of the channel, to those that support us through giving the super chats. Guys, we're so grateful. Remember, on the 22nd of every single month, we are giving live on stream to local charity, and it means the world to us whenever you give, and you help us be able to give more and more every single month. And we're just so thankful. Want to give some special love today, OG of the channel, Nacho, for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. If you got a free membership from Nacho, show him some love in the chat. Demo G, Pita, Bella Iviani, Barbara Johnson, Donna Upton, thank you so much. Show Donna some love in the chat. Georgina Budney, Nadine Jones, Leigh Lewis for gifting 5 True Life News memberships. Fred Samuel, Deanna Rankin, B1 Sly One, thank you so much, brother, for your support and helping to moderate the channel. Stephen Morgan, Chris Prez, guys, with gifting 20 True Life News memberships and a super chat. If you got a free membership from Chris, show him some love in the chat. Thank you so much, guys, for your support. We can't thank you enough. We love and appreciate you all for, like I said, liking, sharing our videos. I don't know what they do on the other channels because, honestly, guys, I don't watch them. Like, my focus is you. My focus is building the best show for you. And let me know in the chat how we're doing. We love you, appreciate you, and we'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.